Tadparam paryaya vedmahe jnanalingeshwaraya dhimahi tanno guruh prachodayate om. Om Yoga Maharishi Dr. Swami Gita Ananda Giri Guru Maharaj Ki Jai. Namaste, Swagatam, Vanakkam, Bonjour, no, Buonasera, depending on whichever part of the world you are in. We have been extensively looking at the concept of Savitri Pranayama and its application in the higher aspects of polarity. Polarity is life, and the loss of polarity is death. That is the bottom line. Every atom has a sense of polarity between the electrons and the protons. Every cell has a sense of polarity between the anions and cations. At our physical level, we have a polarity between the right and left sides of the body. We have a sense of polarity between the two limbs of the autonomic nervous system, the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. We have a sense of polarity between the right and left brains. A sense of polarity between the right and left nostrils that manifests as part of what is called the nasal cycle in the traditional yogic terminology, Swarodaya Vigyan. Swara Udaya Vigyan. That is the sonorous sound produced by the nostrils, and understanding that pattern of flow. A pattern that is between anything between about 60 to 120 to 40 minutes. Between about approximately, just for a mental image, 1 to 4 hours. There is a constant change. It's happening automatically. You don't have to do anything about it. It's like the autonomic nervous system. It's happening automatically. And that is actually why we do not think about these things too much, because they are so natural, we take them for granted. And one of the biggest issues as a human being is when we start to take things for granted. Because the moment you start to take it for granted, you start to lose it. Children don't take things for granted as they are growing. There's an enthusiasm in a child, and that is why there is growth. When a child sees the tree, it's happy. The child sees the sun, it's happy. And then we grow up and become a mature adult, and then suddenly we are not happy seeing anything. And then we start to degenerate. The moment we take a relationship for granted, the relationship starts to degenerate. The moment you take anything for granted in life, it starts to degenerate. And that is why it is vital to let our mind come into these automatic, autonomic aspects of who we are. Because the moment the mind focus comes into it, you have made a choice to focus. It is the Ichcha Shakti. There are 3 powers associated with our intellect. When I use the word intellect, I'm using it as the capacity for discernment and meta-cognition. That is what for me is intellect, not this pseudo-intellectual highbrow stuff where people use words that they have no idea what they are. A lot of that in spirituality, a lot of that in higher education, a lot of that in medicine. People think they become wise by using big words. You become wise when your words become action. That is when you are really wise, not when you know big words. Somebody can go on one of those events and learn how to spell words. Just because you can spell it doesn't mean you have understood it. You know, when I'm teaching the kids at Yoganjali, often the kids have memorized my whole Primer of Yoga Theory book. I created this book as a tool for the young kids to understand the philosophy, psychology, scientific and traditional understanding of yoga in a easy to digest manner. So I call it a primer of yoga theory. And that book was put out, now the first edition was about 20 years ago, when it was a small booklet, because we were having yoga events. And I used to ask theoretical questions to the kids. We used to have a theoretical exam. And they said, Doctor Sir, where can we learn this? Where can we find the answers to this? So I realized that they needed something. And so 35 books, I think. That one book has like the essence of about 35 books in a very short question answer form. So these kids, they have gone through that, and now I think we have 4th or 5th edition of that book, and it's one of the books that I always know will be sold out and can start working on a new edition, which each time becomes better, as it should be. But why I'm bringing this is the kids, especially in India, we focus more on learning information than in expressing our experience. And the Indian system of education, I'm not talking of the traditional Indian system. This is the modern system left behind by the British, and we still have a similar system going on. And what happened was, this system, the kids are more interested or forced to learn information. So you need to know what a word is, which page it is, which chapter it is in a textbook. And you are never asked a question, you have read this story, how has this story impacted you? The question is more often, what was the name of the hero in the story? What time did he come into the room? And what was the number of the train he had to catch at the railway station? It's more this type of focus. So our kids are very good in this. Indian kids are amazing in information. And this is why information technology, IT sector, has so many Indians, because it's amazing. And genetically, this has been part of it, because in Indian tradition, you had to have great memory. Smriti was a very important component of our tradition. We have Shruti, which is the revealed knowledge heard, perceived by the grand masters, the rishis. And then it was passed down by memory, by rote, and that is where Smriti came in. So you have the Shruti literature and the Smriti literature. So coming back, our kids are so good, they have memorized my whole book. And they can tell you the answer to any question. And you twist the question, they still have the answer. And it's amazing. And they know more about my book than I know. I don't know what's in it, they know it. It's amazing at times. And they correct me, sir, in that chapter, on that page, at the bottom of the page is the answer to this question. That's the type of... But you know what? They know the answer in the sense of they can say it. They can spell it out. But have they actually experienced that answer? And more often than not, the answer is no. And this is why, as my kids grow up with me over the last 26 years at Yoganjali, I see that transformation where they move from mere knowing the information to starting to actually experience the answer. And as they experience the answer, you start to realize there are more answers than one. It's like the answer to the question, what is yoga? I have been given the job by Indian Yoga Association to develop a concept note on what is yoga and what is Indian when we talk about yoga, because there's a lot of confusion. And I was thinking about it because, you know, at a small kid level, you say, what is yoga? And they give you an answer. Yoga hai chitta vritti nirodha. That is what Patanjali said. You say, okay, what is yoga? They say, karma sukhaushalam, Bhagavad Gita. What is yoga? Samatvam yoga uchyate. You say, what is yoga? Dukkha samyoga viyogam yoga sangeetam. One more definition comes. Yujjate anena iti yoga. All of this will come. Then you say, okay, fine. They say, according to Swami Gitananda, yoga is a way of life. According to Swami Gitananda, yoga is fourfold awareness. Awareness of the body, awareness of the emotions, awareness of the mind, awareness of awareness itself. And then according to Ammaji, it starts with awareness of how unaware you are. Perfect. What happens is, as you start to grow, you realize there are countless answers to the question, what is yoga? Because the key is, yoga is everything. And so when yoga is everything, you're going to always have infinite answers to the question, what is yoga? Based on at what level you are. So coming back to the point of polarity. Polarity is that state of harmonious balance. And this balance is a living balance. It's a dynamic balance. So it's a dynamic state of balance. It's an active balance, not a passive balance. Because life is active. Constantly it's going to be up and down. You know, if you look at somebody's electrocardiogram report, ECG or EKG, depending on which part of the world you are in, the tracing should be going up and down, PQRST, PQRST. If it doesn't go up and down and you see a straight line, you have just died. Okay? So if in your tracing, it is not going up and down and it's a straight line, you are dead. If you take an EEG, electroencephalogram, you should be having all the alpha waves, the beta waves, the delta, the theta, depending on your state of consciousness. Whether you are in beta, which is the activity, or alpha, which is a more, relaxed state of being, or going into delta and theta, where they are much deeper states. You get them a bit in sleep. That is why sleep is such a beautiful experience where we start to experience subconsciously, unconsciously, these higher states. So we know they exist. The problem is they happen passively in sleep. We want to actively experience them while we are in Jagrat, when we are in the wakeful state. And that is where Turiya and Turiya Atita comes in as states of consciousness, where you are experiencing them while awake. So when we are talking about polarity, when you focus your mind on the polarity, what you are doing is you are giving life to it. You are starting to throw light on an experience that is happening within you, whether you know it or not. Okay? Arvinda ji has given a full form for YOGA as your origination in God's action. That's a beautiful way to think about it. And yes, Eridani from New Zealand, actual learning is much harder than knowing in theory. Learning your dharma can be a rough ride, and I'll tell you, following it and staying with your dharma is an even tougher one. It's like you've got on the tiger. First of all, you have to find the tiger, you have to get on it. Once you get on that tiger, God help you. And Ma Durga has to help you. She knows how to ride a tiger. Or Lord Ayyappa, if you're in South India. These are the two people who know how to ride tigers. There was also a yogi who used to ride tigers. I don't recollect the name of the guy, but there was an ancient yogi who used to go around riding tigers. Well, Vyagrapada had the feet of a tiger. He was a friend of Patanjali. And he and Patanjali got Shiva to dance at the Chidambaram. Puli Patanjali, we say in the song. Coming back. Polarity is already there. What we are doing is we are focusing our attention. That is the Icha. That is why the Buddhi comes in, because the Buddhi is this discerning and metacognitive capacity that we have at the Vijnanamaya Kosha level. In the Vijnanamaya Kosha, see, Manomaya Kosha is where basically you are conscious of what's happening around you and you can calculate and, answer questions and make some money and, basically go to a job and come back. You could even be a professor, okay? Manomaya kosha is enough for most of the stuff we do. Vijnanamaya kosha is where discernment, Viveka and Vairagya, which is meta-cognition, comes in. The capacity to observe yourself without identification. Because the moment you identify, all objectivity goes away and you become a subjective expert, not an objective expert. So objectivity is the key of all sciences, and as Swamiji would say, yoga is the mother of all science. Beautiful statement he used to make. Yoga is the mother of all science. Now there are a lot of people who wonder whether yoga is a science, and well, let them wonder. That's their job. No issues. See, basically, when people have some divergent opinions, sometimes it's better to just let it be, because you are not going to change them. They are not going to change you, and so you're just wasting time. Um, so it's not that they are wise or you are wise, or they are a fool or you are a fool. It's just divergence is so far apart. The poles are so far apart that there's no meeting ground. If there's a possibility of a meeting ground, yes, please go ahead. Dialogue is very beautiful when there's possibility of a meeting ground. But otherwise, it's just a waste of time. The buddhi, which is the intellectual aspect of us, our intellectual existence. And intellectual doesn't mean just knowing, the stuff and having these big words. Oh, he is an intellectual, which means he talks a lot and does nothing. No, we don't mean that. We mean someone whose intellect is functioning at the optimal level. That is Vijnanamaya Kosha. And discernment and non-attachment. Vairagya is often translated as detachment. The problem with the word detachment is it sounds as if you don't care. You are detached. Whereas non-attachment is better, because it means you are choosing not to be attached because of your care. And that is why Vairagya is actually a very great state of caring, where you care so much that you are going to have a non-attached approach to that person, that thing, or that event. It's a big choice. And it's a very big choice which comes up here. Ichcha Shakti is the power of intent. Jnana Shakti is the power of wisdom. And Kriya Shakti is the power of putting it into action. All these three powers, Ichcha, Jnana, and Kriya, all three are powers of the Buddhi, and these are in the Vijnanamaya Kosha, which is our intellectual level of existence. Now, when we talk about the koshas, one of the issues is, as Ammaji says, we think the koshas are existent in everyone. And the problem is, actually, they are potentially there. So everybody potentially has a functioning panchakosha. But for many people, it's like the lights are there, the wires are there, but because we take it for granted, we say everybody has the panchakosha, so everybody has the intellectual existence. Yes, potentially everybody has it, but have they made it an actuality? Has the switch been put? Very consciously, very mindfully, focusing our attention on the aspects of polarity, which is the loma and the viloma. And when we do the anuloma viloma, anu refers right down to the atomic level, the most minute aspect. That is why one of the siddhis, which are the major 8 siddhis, but go all the way up to 108, as per Swamiji's siddhis and riddhis book. It's amazing compilation of these siddhis. One of the Ashta Siddhis is called Anima. And Patanjali refers to this in the Vibhudipada when he says Animadi. So Animadi, what he means is anima et al. Like in scientific literature, we put the first author et al. Anima et al. It's a common usage in Indian Adi. Animadi, which means anima et al. Anima means the capacity to become as small as an atom. To be as small as the atom is anima. So Anu, anima. Anu refers to that atomic micro existence. Loma, Viloma are the equal and opposite flows of energy. The two poles, positive and negative. So in the Anuloma Viloma Prakriya, what we are doing is we are becoming aware and inducing an experience of these bipolar energies so that a state of balanced harmony, of dynamic balance can manifest. That is the key here. Okay. So let's start a few rounds. We'll do 9 rounds of each today. So the first version of the Anuloma Viloma, where we have the prana coming down, the apana going up, prana, warm golden energy, apana, cool silvery energy. Okay. So the first one, if you're lying down, lie down with your head to the north, feet to the south. If you're sitting, you could be sitting facing east if it is sunrise, otherwise facing north. Making sure that you are as well aligned physically as possible. Breathing out. Now breathing in and feeling the prana coming down. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold. 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold. 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold. 2, 3, 4. In. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold. 2, 3, 4. In. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold. 2, 3, 4. In. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold. 2, 3, 4. In. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Enjoy a few moments of relaxation. The first version, the first part of the Anuloma Viloma Chakriya, enabling us to understand and experience the flow of the prana, the warm golden prana, and the cool silvery apana. We had the prana coming down from head to the feet, and then we had the apana from the feet to the head, creating a harmonious balance between the equal and opposite flows of energy. The Surya and the Chandra, the Ha and the Ta, the Pingala and the Ida, all of these getting balanced in this practice. We now go on to the second part of the Anuloma Viloma Prakriya. And here we are going to be splitting up the body into two. So on the right half, you have the prana coming from feet to head. Please notice here the direction is different than what was done in the part one. So the right half, what we have is that we have the concept of the prana coming up from the feet up to the head on the right side of the body. And on the left side, we have the apana going from the head down to the feet. So you have split the energies into half, and you have prana coming up on the right and apana going down on the left. Okay. So let's do this practice. Remember, we have a held in and held out at over the top of the head, about 6 inches above the head, 6 inches below the feet. And if you are sitting, 6 inches basically below where you are sitting. Your seated asana, below that 6 inches, and above your head 6 inches if you are doing it seated. Creating a clockwise flow, pradakshina flow of energy here. So the energy is moving in a clockwise flow. Breathing out, breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Prana coming up to the top. Hold the prana over the head. Out, apana coming down from the head to the feet. Hold the apana below the feet. In, prana, right side coming up to the top of the head. Hold the prana over the head. Apana coming down the left side to the feet and hold it out below the feet. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold, 2, 3. Enjoy a short period of contemplative relaxation. We have been working with the prana and the apana, representing the positive flux and the negative flux of energies, those energies that are universal as well as individual, the microcosm that is us, reflecting the macrocosm, the universe, what is considered as Purusha Prakriti in the universal scheme, day and night in the externalized scheme, becoming the two aspects that are diametrically opposite within us, going all the way down to the subatomic level, the cellular level, and coming up into our autonomic nervous system and our right and left brain, enabling us to experience a sense of balance when both the extremes can be tackled with awareness, balance occurs. When the raga and the dvesha, the likes and the dislikes pull us apart, we cannot be ourselves. We are torn apart from within. Transcending the opposites, the likes and dislikes. As Lord Krishna tells us in the Bhagavad Gita, raga dvesha viyuktaistu vishayanindriyascharan atmavashye videyatma prasadam adhigacchati. That prasada, that highest sense of tranquility manifests in us at that point. Very beautiful practice, the Anuloma Viloma, and we'll keep working on these practices and more in the coming days. And yes, Apu, thank you for pointing out Swamiji's statement, yoga is life. And this is also mirrored by a statement by Sri Aurobindo, who says all life is yoga. Because definitely there is no difference between yoga and life. And that is why Swamiji put out the yoga life for the last 50 years. And for the first time, because of the COVID, for the last 2 months, we have not been able to print it because there's no press, or send it because of postal services. But hopefully by next month, there will be a bumper issue put out covering, these few months that we have missed out, and everybody will get the yoga life back in their hands. But till then, I've been doing my best to give you the online experience. And yes, I don't like selling myself. I don't sell myself. I'm not available for sale. But yes, we have the Yoga Sutra online course starting on the 20th of May. And already about 72 or 73 people have expressed the interest to join it. I will be capping it at 100 because that will be my Zoom meeting limit. So it will be on Zoom. There will be 7 sessions, 4:30 to 5:30 in the afternoon Indian Standard Time. And for those who join it, there will be handouts sent, and there will also be the recordings made available for those who have signed up for it, so that in case you miss it due to any other reasons, you could always watch it. It's going to be my first experience, so I beg your pardon for all the technical issues that will be there, because I'm good at technology, but not extremely good. But I'm sure that you'll all be understanding that we are just trying to share. But at the same time, in sharing, there sometimes has to be a structure. And I felt that as all other sources of stuff are going down, that at least once in a while, there should be enough to keep the ashram running and keep us all alive. So thank you for being with me. We will meet again in a few moments for the global prayer. Hari Om Tat Sat.